on. There, go ahead.
Good afternoon, Mrs. Lopez. My co-counsel and I will be asking you some questions about the case. Do not hesitate to ask for clarification if you don't understand the questions.
Thank you.
Mrs. Lopez, can you tell me about you and your family?
Yes, my name is Maria Lopez. I'm married to Carlos Lopez in 2005. I have three children, two of the older kids, one son, Gustavo, he's 19, and Lucia, who's 12. They are in El Salvador, and my youngest son is here with me in Canada.
Were you employed while you were in El Salvador?
Yes, I worked as a professional seamstress.
And where does your husband work or reside?
My husband resides in with me, but occasionally he goes to work in Uruguay.
Okay. And what is your current status in Canada?
Status means the visa. I think I have visitor visa.
Okay. And how did you manage to get that multiple entry visa?
This is because of my husband, and we used to travel to visit his uncle in Canada. And since then, we have multiple entry visa to Canada.
So you have visited Canada before?
Yes, I have visited Canada before with Carlos to meet his uncle.
And why did you come to Canada now?
I came to Canada to give birth to my kid, and this was especially to prevent my husband knowing about this kid that doesn't belong to him.
Okay. Can you tell me a little bit about the relationship with your husband, Carlos?
Sad to say that my relationship is very toxic one. He constantly abused me physically and emotionally, and on several occasions he even threatened me to kill. And this all started when I suspected him cheating on me. And this is the information that I got it before our marriage, that he was cheating on me with the numerous women.
Okay, so when did the relationship started to break down?
This actually, I found out that he was unfaithful to me somewhere around 2014, 2015, if I'm not wrong. And this is because like we were arguing a lot. He was very verbally abusive to me, and it eventually, escalated to physical abuse whenever I used to question him regarding his unfaithfulness.
And what kind of physical abuse have you faced from your husband or any family member from him?
So it was mainly like, initially it was like more of squeezing me from here and there, and then it started with the punching and kicking and lots of physical abuse.
And has your husband ever harmed the children?
Yes, he was abusive towards them also. If they would come in, he would hit them. He would use bad words and everything.
And when was the last time that you saw your husband?
That was just before coming here. I think it was Christmas of 2017.
Okay, and what happened during that trip of your husband to El Salvador?
So that was like an unannounced visit of him from his work. He came to the house. He started physically abusing me. He was drunk. He started giving me death threats and accusing me of me being unfaithful, whereas it was him that I was always worried about. He stayed there for about 17 days. During that, he made a lot of threats to me. He was beating me pretty much every day, kicking me here and there, and so on. And during his last couple of days, I in fact stayed at my neighbor's because of at neighbor's house to escape and from fear of him killing me.
And when was the last time that you communicated with him?
He kept texting me on and off, and the last I heard from him was in summer 2018.
So what happened during that conversation with your husband?
Uh, uh, all he said in this message is that in Uruguay, where he's working, he has found a new lady in his life, and he's prepared to leave the house. So he wants to make a new place in the house that we live in.
Okay. So when did you start the relationship with the father of your Canadian-born child?
Yeah, Migul, that's his name. I started my relationship with him in spring 2018, and I got pregnant with him in 20 June of 2018.
And what is the relationship between Carlos and Mr. Miguel?
Carlos and Miguel, they both are cousins.
So how did your husband get to learn about the pregnancy that you had with his cousin?
Oh, this was also a very a different situation. When I came the first time here to Toronto, and for some reason I gave my El Salvador address in the at the hospital, and I went to the same hospital for my baby, where they ended up sending my baby's documents to El Salvador because I did not change the address to my current Canadian address.
So when did your husband found out about the child?
This was in April 2019.
And is the baby's father Miguel with you in Toronto?
No, he's still in El Salvador.
Okay, Mrs. Lopez. From now on, my co-counsel will continue with the questioning. Okay, thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, co-counsel, and good afternoon, member and Mrs. Lopez. And I'm the co-counsel acting for Mrs. Lopez, and I will continue examination. And Mrs. Lopez, if you have any questions, you could ask me to clarify. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you. And please let me know how did your husband reacted to the news when he heard about the baby?
Oh, he was very angry with that. He started sending me very threatening messages. He left me voice messages on WhatsApp that we use for communication. He still has my number. And he was telling no matter what, when I go back to El Salvador, he's going to find me, he's going to cut my legs off, he's going to cut my head off, and he will do anything to, that I don't live there.
Okay. And how has your hus how has your husband how sorry um and how has your husband tried to reach you another way to know your whereabouts?
Oh yes, he tried contacting my sister to get my address, but because I have been very afraid and fearful, I have not given my address to anyone.
Oh, and Mrs. Lopez, why did you leave El Salvador on October 2018 and not sooner?
It was actually summer of 2018 when he said that he's coming to El Salvador with his new woman, and I had to leave the house so he can make a space for this new female in my house. And that time I was pregnant with my unborn child. So that is why I tried or decided to leave to protect my unborn child, because if he comes with his all threatening messages and to kill me, I felt really fearful. So I thought of leaving in summer 2018.
And you mentioned about two older children. Why didn't they come with you to Canada?
That's I have very limited resources there financially. I'm always dependent on Carlos. So and otherwise also I need authorization from father if I'm taking children out of the country. So I left them in care of my sister.
Okay. And did you ever report to the police the abuse from your husband?
It's very common there in El Salvador. Police never listens to, especially to the females. We have very little protection from them. Even I tried contacting them a couple of times. Once they came, and I was bleeding, and they just laughed at me, and said that they told me to just sit inside, and they started having beer with my husband. So I tried contacting police, but it's useless. Police does not listen to they never listen to me over there.
Sorry about that. But why would your husband laugh?
uh, because he knows that even if I complain to police, I'm not going to get any help. And on top of it, he owns a gun, which is very normal over there in that country for these men to show their muscular that they are big.
Okay. And do you have any friends or family members who are witness to the abuse you have faced from your husband?
Yes, as I mentioned earlier, my sister Gracia, or Emily Gracia, she has witnessed that. She herself was also physically abused by Carlos, and especially members and priests of El Rosario Church in San Salvador in El Salvador. They are witness to my constant abuse from Carlos. They have helped me out many multiple times with food and shelter when Carlos hit me or threatened me.
Okay. And have they able to provide any support and safety?
They have provided me emotional support, but not able to protect me from my husband. He used all abusive language towards me in front of them. He kicked me. I was bleeding, and still they could not help me.
Okay. So how are you supporting yourself financially in Canada?
Oh, I carried some savings with me, which I draw money from. Occasionally, Gustav, who is my son, also do send me some money as well, and I also get some financial help from my local church here in Toronto.
Okay. And why do you want to claim for refugee protection?
I know that Canada is a very protective country, and especially for female rights. I fear, my life, and not only my life, but my family members' life if I return to El Salvador. Carlos will end up, my life if the amount of jealousy and anger he has against me now.
Okay. And have you made a claim for refugee protection anywhere in Canada?
No, this is my first time.
Can you prove that you will be harmed, mistreated, or threatened by any person or group in El Salvador?
Uh, what to say? Besides my husband, who can easily, if he doesn't kill me himself, he can easily contract people to kill me. The gangs in El Salvador are very powerful. They do not follow any law or order from there. They are even above the police, and police also doesn't do much help to the females. My life is really in danger if I go back to El Salvador.
And did you try to move to another parts of El Salvador to seek safety from your husband?
It's very difficult to, not being tracked by Carlos. As you know, El Salvador is a very small country, and it's very difficult to go from one place to the other being untracked. And especially Gustav, when he decides to leave home, he always leaves some tracks behind, and the vigilance on me, what I am doing, and I don't know whether I would be able to move to any other parts of El Salvador to hide from Carlos.
And so why are you seeking a refugee claim in Canada after being in the country for 8 months?
Uh, See, initially when I came, I never had any intentions of seeking refugee here in Canada. It was just in March 2019 when Carlos started threatening me again in April 2019 after my newborn. I felt that my life is in danger. I will be killed. So I made my refugee claim in 2019, especially to protect myself and my life and of my family from Carlos.
So, what will happen if you and the baby go back to your country?
I cannot imagine to go back to the country. Carlos will definitely find me and my baby, and he will kill both of us. And not only us, even our elder kids also would be in danger. I'm very scared to go back to that country.
Thank you very much, Ms. Lopez. And thanks, a member. That's our examination.
Mr. Member, I'm going to put my final submission. Uh, Mr. Member, I am Baljit Bawa, an RCIC representing Maria Lopez. I am by giving this my final submission as requested. Mr. Member, I have with me my documents from my client, which includes the different text messages, various reports from medical reports for injuries, and some documents that proves the declarations by the priest and the church there in El Salvador. All I'm pleading with your outfit is to grant my client, Maria Lopez, a positive outcome based on Section 97 of IRPA, which provides that she is a person in need of protection and shall be afforded protection in Canada. The abuse that women face in El Salvador faces give credence to my client's account of events that happened and continue to happen even though she's not in El Salvador. Evidence that Mr. Member can be relied on by your respectful position to give favorable decision to my client. Although she couldn't provide evidence of her reporting to police for protection, the might of her husband Carlos shows how powerful he is in the country. It'll be at her own peril to continue to seek for protection from the friends of the same man being accused of the abuse. It is also evidence from the size of El Salvador that in my clients decide to hide herself in any part of the country, she can easily be traced and the abuse will continue. The gangs in El Salvador are very powerful, that they can take any single woman as their wife and abuse them physically to any extent. And their power is over the power of even the police. The definition of feminicide does not exist or acknowledged in the criminal code of El Salvador, which makes it even more worse for the females to be safe in that country. I am therefore counting on your usual cooperation to grant my client, Maria Lopez, a positive hearing. Thank you, Mr. Member. That's my submission.